the love of my life, and I ain't excited tonight to give you.
Welcome back. You're still watching Breakfast in Bed. Like we said, we're getting into the gist of singles and married, all about relationships. We said you're sexualized, all about sexuality, sexual community, and what to do, cheating, premarital sex, all that. We're getting into all of that this morning. And our guest today is a family and abuse recovery therapist. She's Faintola Daniels. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Thank you so much.
Glad to
I'm
have
happy to be here.
Glad to have you. Now let's get straight into it. Our topic is singles and married. Now let's get straight into the life of being single and evolving into being married. Is there a benchmark? Because when people tend to say, oh, you've been single for so long, I think you should be married at this point.
Yeah.
Is there a benchmark for being single, age, for men or women, before you get into marriage?
Actually, sincerely, honestly, there is no benchmark. But the society, our society, has made it like, okay, you have to be at a particular age. If you don't get married at this age, you know, your time is running out and all of those things. But really, it's a lie. We've seen people get married at 40 and they had happily ever after. We've seen people get married at 18, 21, and you know, 3 months after, they're out of it. So the best thing is not to rush in, and there's no age limit. You can get into it anytime. Just get into it with the right person.
Yeah. From your own observation, like, just be honest with me, what do you think about this present age of those people that are in relationship and people that are in marriage also?
When you mean present age, this is our generation.
Yes, this is our generation. What do you think?
Okay, so that question is vague. What exactly do you mean?
What I mean is...
What is it within this present age that
because I don't know, because we tend to have more of infidelities in relationships now compared to our parents back then, and because of this whole exposed younger ones to things that are happening outside the country, things they want to copy. And what do you think about things like that?
Anyways, I do not think that we have more.
Yeah.
I just think that social media has opened up a lot of things this generation, right? Because back then too, our parents had the options of marrying 10 wives. 6 wives, and they still had concubines outside. You know, it was just a big thing for them that, oh, I have, you know, they brag about it. Well, now let's come back to it. Infidelity, it's a problem. It is a problem, and we can see the effect in the way the family system is turning out. We can see how our children also are misbehaving because of all of these things. And, you know, the family is not a unit anymore. What the family system is supposed to do in the life of the children, because of infidelity, you know, there's a breakout here. And the woman is thinking, oh, so you can cheat on me? Yeah, well, I can go out as well. And it's affecting the children. So majorly, it's affecting the family system. It's affecting what marriage should be. And that's why if you open your phone and go on Instagram, there's one marriage breaking just because of infidelity. And before we came in now, you know, we're even talking about it, that should cheating be a deal breaker? And
said no.
This guy here
said no.
Yeah, for me, I don't think cheating is a deal breaker.
Why?
Why?
Because I feel I need to ask questions, and I think that's the problem with. I think that's
what
why
are those questions you're asking?
Yeah, I think that's why marriages tend to break, because I don't think we tend to ask questions enough. Now, when your partner cheats, I feel, I'm talking from my own personal, what I feel should happen is ask questions on why did this happen? What led to this? Is it about me? Is it about you? I think this would form better judgment. Not just saying your partner cheated and you're not trying to find out the reason why your partner cheated. I'm not justifying it, but I feel questions should be answered. I feel the answers to these things will now form my judgment on whether it should be a deal breaker for me at that point, or maybe we can walk around it.
I get what you're trying to say.
And it's over.
I get what you're trying to say, but I feel like a lot of people also ask questions. But when it becomes an habit, that's when a lot of people now say, oh, I'm no longer doing this.
For someone like me who, when I want to deal with someone, I deal with trust. So the moment you break that trust, it's hard for me to like literally see you the same way I used to. So it's a deal breaker.
I'm going to put this in. Sorry, my producer just asked me a question can someone justify cheating to me? And I'm going to answer the question. Is I asked those questions because I want to know what led to the cheating. I'm not saying you're trying to justify, but what if along the line I was the mess up and that's why it happened?
Wait.
What
Honestly,
if I was the mess up and that's why it happened?
I get what you're saying, but some people cheat because they want to cheat, not because of the partner. Sometimes, usually, a number of times, it is not because of the other person.
Because they want
people
to.
cheat because they want to.
Yeah.
Any man that has been cheating and then the woman says, "Oh, I want to go out because my husband," she wanted to.
These things are premeditated.
Yes.
You must have thought about it.
Yes.
So you don't just go and just do it now.
And this is why I'm going to ask questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if my questions and the answers I get is I'm cheating because I just want to cheat, then it becomes a deal breaker at the end. People cheat for several reasons.
For what?
And I think
Why
we need
should
to ask
you
questions.
cheat? Why?
I get
People
you.
who find themselves in compromising situations. We're all human beings. I'm not justifying it, but we are all human beings. And we're all acting like we're very, very clean.
No, nobody is
many
clean.
People, and I'm really going to go this way. Many people that tend to say, "Oh, cheating is my deal breaker." When you catch them doing what they do behind closed doors, you'll be shocked.
And that's why I said it is when it's an habitual cheater. So if
an
that
habitual
person,
cheater, an habitual
but
cheater,
if it was
a
one-off that, okay, somebody cornered you and, you know, maybe that. But that one that is your habit, which been telling you for the past 3 years and you're still doing it. I caught you with Shola, I caught you with Kendi, I caught you.
No, that's a deal breaker, obviously.
We've seen issues of people who are about to get married and eventually they just go and visit their ex and things happen.
Best man.
We've seen issues like that. So I don't just know. There's no reason to do that. Nah.
Okay, so now but we've gotten a common ground.
Yeah.
Now. So now let's move into premarital sex because it's become an issue. But these days, it seems it's even dying down. Because when I was younger, I knew it was an issue where you go to church and
I was
about
to ask you, where did you get an issue? Because if you go on the road, everybody's like, why are you not doing it?
Yeah, because when I was younger, it was like, don't dare in church and all that. But these days, it seems like, well, if it happens, it happens. And I'm like, I want to ask.
They would even advise you to. Now.
Yeah, it's not if it happens. Just check your phone now. One celebrity is coming up and saying, "Oh, my baby, I'm coming, you know, with baby bump," and she's not married to the guy, and everybody's celebrating it.
Is premarital sex a big deal? Is it bad? Is this something that should be condemned?
Honestly,
being very honest.
Honestly, now this is FT. It is very bad if we go the spiritual route, right? But then physically, logically, scientifically, it is very bad. But we ignore it and say, oh, it's just they said it in church, you know, and all of that. But look at it scientifically. When you keep having sex with somebody you're not supposed to have sex with, you know, the STDs and all of that, okay, you use condom, fine. But then that trust issues that he's talking about, because you were able to have sex with her before you got married to her. So when you travel out, your mind is not even at peace because you know that if she can open for you, she can open for anybody, right? So there's an issue of trust there. And there was this study that I checked one time that, you know, when a woman gives birth later on, that the gene of all her past exes, I don't know how to treat it, like the gene of all her past exes would show in the child she gives birth to. So science is even saying you should not do it. Really? So what other excuse do we want?
Okay, now. We should not do it. We're going to break this down. I wish we have lots of time. We should not do it. But in situations where people really have, I don't know if this is the proper word to use by this time, but yeah, they really have the urge. It's called libido, though.
Yeah,
they really have. I don't know if that's the proper time to say it, but yeah. And then that's also scientific. That's also natural. Sometimes you can't control it for so many people. Now, how do they sort themselves out? So you're saying that they should not do it?
No.
Those are active,
Yeah. Those are, you know.
See, all of these things shows that you're a normal person.
Okay.
How would you be with somebody that you like and your body is not going to be aroused?
It
will stand up because you are a normal person, right? But delayed gratification is what we are talking about.
In situations of, at a point, obviously you're seeing this person and all of a sudden you're like gingered, and so at a point also you're seeing this person and everything just dies. What do you do in situations like that?
Koyemi.
Like, at the point, you guys are, oh, I want to see you, any little touch, blah, blah, blah. And going into the relationship and you just start reducing.
The feelings
Yes,
for the
just
person
start
starts
reducing.
reducing.
Yeah. So how do
you manage
how do we
the
manage that?
situation?
Yeah.
So basically, maybe you guys really need to have a conversation. Why is it going down? What's happening? And all of that. So questions, like you said, would make you find answers to that. But concerning this one that you're talking about, and that's why we say that you should not meet yourself in enclosed places. Because when you meet yourself in a private place, of course, you know, you touch from hand is going here, from there.
Go down,
But if we're in a park, everybody is seeing us. Even if we're holding hands, you know, and you're coming close, something will tell you that people are watching.
We know
Do you
what we are
understand?
doing.
Exactly, we
know.
We know what we're doing. It is just because we're not ready to put some rules on ground and then be able to follow it judiciously. That's just it. And then we get to taste. See, there's this Yoruba adage that when soup is very hot and you take it in, it's going to burn your mouth. But you need to calm down. And you know, let it cool. That's when you will be able to savor the taste properly. See, and that's why, you know, we keep telling young people, don't have sex before marriage. And we keep begging married people, have sex. Because they don't want to. You know, in marriage, sex now looks like work. It's not like you don't do it for the fun of it because you're tired, I'm tired, you know. People are even scheduling sex. In marriage, we are begging them. So, these things, you will overdo it in marriage and you'll be tired.
Okay, now, I like the fact that, that means self-control is very important.
Very key.
Now, let's dive into those that are married.
Oh, yeah.
Now, does, okay, we saw them to have, those that are married, have sex. Now, does having constant sex, and does it stop your partner from cheating?
No, it doesn't.
So nothing stops the partner from cheating.
He will cheat. Now the problem of cheating.
Too. What is he will cheat?
She will. They will. But you know that. No. But we know that men do more of the cheating, obviously.
I still need the research. I still need the research. I need a research about that. I know someone is watching.
You know, there are a lot of people. Even there is an unwritten rule in the street that people. Wait. Like they will say that, you know, the men, you know, men can have as many relationships as possible. Men can have as many wives as possible, but a woman cannot. So at the end of the day, it's a man's world, right? Now, a man that wants to, people that want to cheat because they want to. Now the problem is, what are they using that cheating for? So sometimes the cheating is not the problem. What are they using? It's just like addiction. Somebody is smoking or drinking too much. He's now a drunkard. That drunkenness is not the problem. What is he using that drink to cover? Do you understand? So there's an underlying problem underneath that is he has not. So some people, maybe some guys, I don't want to use guys now, maybe some guys are just still stuck in their teenagehood and they have not broken up from it. Right? You see some Baba 70, they are following small girls that are like their children. Some of them are still stuck in that things, or maybe they didn't have the opportunity to do those things. So now that they have the money, they have the luxury, they want to still do those things they missed out from back then.
So do you encourage conversation with partners in case, like, this is very, you just shed a light on something that maybe a partner is still living in those years. Do you feel a partner should sit down and understand that, oh, my partner is living in those years and we need to find a solution to it?
So that's not just the only thing. There are various other reasons, right? But it's okay to have conversations. And when you feel like you cannot maybe break it down with your partner, then you can speak to a professional.
Do you believe in divorce? Do you feel divorce is authentic? If they just can't find a way through, do you think it's right for people to let go?
Personal opinion.
Personal opinion, yes.
All right.
And as a therapist, personal opinion as a therapist.
And still linking that question, do you think divorce has been misused now in this present age?
Misuse. Capital letter misuse. It's being misused.
We've seen relationships of or marriage of just a year or two, and next thing you're hearing, I want to get divorced, and you just say why, and you see reasons like. People can actually sit down and so everybody just wants to divorce. So
the thing is just the way we misuse mental health.
Oh, yes,
this generation, you know, we keep using my mental health. That's the way we misuse divorce.
So
because there's some. Wait now. Let me one question at a time. There are some conversations, there are some issues that you can actually sit down and talk about. But because I'm not willing to submit to you, you're not willing to submit to me, and then we just scatter everything. But really, and that's why they say after a lot of discussion, an irreconcilable difference. that word, that they cannot come together to reconcile it. And usually there's no issue that cannot be reconciled.
And one other thing.
It's just that one party or both of them refuse to come to...
And one other thing is, I don't know if it's actually like an issue now. We've seen parents putting their traumas on their children. Yes, situations like, when you're married, blah, blah, blah. So that's like putting their own trauma on someone that has never experienced it at all. So they grow up with that belief of, if my husband or my wife is disturbing me, I should just, at the end of the day, just call the ties and leave.
That's why I want Fentola to answer, because I'm going to pick something there.
Yeah.
I'm going to Fentola, do you feel divorce is authentic?
Opinion. So now, it is and it is not. Really, I personally do not believe in divorce. But the only time that I would recommend divorce is when abuse is involved.
Okay. That is why parents will say,
no. Now,
misuse...
what he said, a lot of time, what are the issues in marriages? I mean, or what are the issues that propel divorce and all of this? So the thing is, sometimes your background, your upbringing, and your experience. So some of our parents, their experience, they share it with their children, you know, and that's where the trauma comes from. Meanwhile, your daughter is not going to marry your husband. Our husband is not from your background, from your husband's background. The exposure that our husband has is not what your husband has. So sometimes, you know, we just keep saying, oh, don't marry this, from your own experiences. Sometimes we need to, you know, stop it. Stop it. Come, let your daughter or your son, let them understand the partner they're with. Let them talk to their partner their own way, and whatever issues that they have or whatever problem they, let them deal with it their own way.
Some even go as far as telling them, don't marry from a
particular place because they married from that place. Meanwhile, it's not true. See, problems are not from a particular state. Is based on individuals. So the issues you will have is not because you are from Ogun State. It's because of your upbringing, your exposure, and your background. So a lot of people should say, don't marry Igbo, don't marry Hausa. It's not like that. We've seen some Igbos that make sense. We've seen some Hausa people that have sense. And we've seen some Yoruba people that are very crazy. Do you understand? So it is about the person, about the individual. What does that individual know to empower themselves enough and empower their relationship?
Okay, we're running out of time, but just before we go, I want us to just dive into this. You talked about divorce. Well, it could be accepted when there's abuse, physical abuse. Now, a relationship...
emotional abuse.
Emotional abuse, too. Okay. Now, I want us to dive into physical and emotional abuse. It happens in marriages, then the marriage ends, and then we have children in that marriage. Now, what would be your advice to such children who would eventually get married or will eventually grow up to get married? How, you know, some of them could find it difficult to navigate life.
So may God we bless you. Say amen. We say amen.
Amen.
Because that's my own pain point. I'm a product of that. And I see with 4 children, I see the way it affected the 4 of us in different ways. And that's why I tell people, your marriage is bigger than you. It's not both of you. It's bigger than your children. It's bigger than, because whatever you do in that marriage affects you, affects the society. And your children are not just the first victims. Your neighbors, the society, we are all victims of whatever you make your marriage to be. Because it affects the children negatively. Now, those children tend to see marriage from your own lens. And we now tell those children that if you're from a broken home, you need to break that circle because your brain cannot produce more than what he knows. Right? So if you do not break that circle, there's tendency that you would have another broken relationship or a broken marriage. So you need to break that circle, break those knowledge or those biases that you have, so that you don't think, oh, men are scum too, because your father was such, I don't know, right? So you need to break off from that so that you can begin to see marriage in a better light, relationship in a better light.
We need to go, but then I'm just going to ask you, I just want one answer from this. How easy is it to break from that circle? Sometimes it takes a lifetime, right?
It's not easy, and healing is individualistic. For some people, it's easier. For some people, it takes a while.
Thank Thank you very much. Fantana, we're going to have you come back, right? Because we need to dive more into this. This is a very large, very large topic, and we need to dive into it. But many thanks for coming, Faintola Daniels. She's an abuse recovery therapist, the family and abuse recovery therapist. Many thanks for coming to Breakfast in Bed.
Thank you.
D, we need to leave.
Yeah, we have to. I am Adedayo Kendi. I'll see you next weekend.
And I am Bababumia. Baby, do take care of yourself and stay safe. Bye.
That the morning fantastic. See you with flam, put it on your tongue, then flip it up like gymnastics. Anything you want, you can have it. Sausage, y'all are the planting.